Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid alongside Jeff Budd, Chris Davis, and Mark Truex. And I want to get in particular, Davis and I have had a week since we gave our initial reactions to the news about the Knights of the Old Republic remake. But we didn't have two other, big fans of the game series weigh in. That's Jeff and Mark. So Mark, let's start with you. Your reaction when you hear that they're full-blown remake Knights of the Old Republic, not just a remaster, but they are remaking the game. What is your sort of reaction to that? Maybe they'll change the twist, Mark, so your brother won't spoil this one for you.
So So everything that's said out there is that they're not going to change the story, which how could you? I know Disney probably wants to because that's what they do. They like to reinvent their canon, but the story is so great, and that's what made that game phenomenal. And the way they're talking about the remake and redoing some of the engines and the graphics, like, could use it for a modern audience. Like, what I like to imagine is they just take the vocal tracks and just literally rebuild the world and
that's what I wanted to.
The engine, and like the fighting style might be more Mass Effect style versus the turn-based rolling of dice and stuff. You know what I mean? Where you still have your trio going around the different worlds and exploring. You pick your crew, but the level of interactivity in the action is a little more captivating. So that's what I'm hopeful on.
Well,
I want to play.
I mean, they're redoing the voice acting because they announced that they're bringing the voice actress Jennifer Hale that played Bastila. So we're getting new dialogue and stuff like
new
that.
Blood.
Yeah, so I'm not. I mean, on the one hand, it's exciting that Jennifer Hale is coming back, but on the other hand, what if everybody doesn't come back? I can't imagine somebody else voicing Jolie Bindo. But Jeff, what is your reaction to the KOTOR remake?
I'm excited about it. I kind of want to get a PlayStation 5 for that and that Harry Potter game now. They have to re-record because they're gonna maybe not change the overall story, but I mean they're gonna add other side quests. They're gonna have surprises so that like people who have played it plenty of times before, it's still going to be a new experience. I kind of agree with what Mark was saying that I don't know if Mass Effect would even be the way to say it. Maybe it's even going to be more interactive than that, but it'll be kind of cool to do like real-time lightsaber fights. Maybe they'll incorporate some of the stuff from KOTOR 2 where you can do the different lightsaber styles, and maybe that'll change things up. I don't think they really need to change the story that much even to help the Disney canon, because I thought that was the whole purpose of setting it so far back in time that it's sort of irrelevant what happens in the KOTOR games. It doesn't impact any of the movies and the shows now and all that. I mean, will they do something? Yeah, maybe, but I'm not as worried as other KOTOR fans are. I think people just, their hackles are always up whenever they hear that Disney's doing something. It's just, I mean, this is fun. It's just, new people get to play KOTOR. I still like the old version of playing it, but I understand that, modern audience doesn't want that. And there were plenty of people at the time who didn't like that kind of play style.
Sure.
Yeah. I do agree with like how far back the story is allows itself to just kind of stay intact because it's not going to impact much difference on what's happening now.
Yeah.
Per se in storytelling.
I'm not going to see Poe Dameron show up in this game or anything like that.
I know. I want to say it was about 2 years ago. I was up at a beer festival in Canada and met one of the original owners of BioWare that created and set off on Knights of the Old Republic and came up with the story and everything in there. And I was just blown away because that was such a big game to me. So I had to buy him a beer, sit down, talk about it. And he was revealing how when they were initially tasked and were allowed to play in the Old Republic, that was like the only setting they were given. The only constraints they had is that if they wanted to blow up a planet, they had to get an approval on what planet it was first. And that's it. They could do anything else they wanted in the story. It's just like, you just need to let us know if you're going to destroy a planet. We need to know and give approval.
That's pretty good.
And I was like, well, you guys did a great job. Like, you guys did an amazing story.
And I mean, I had never heard of Terrace before KOTOR anyway. I'm pretty sure they invented it for the game.
Yeah,
but I'm not 100% certain. That's freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope it's awesome. I hope they don't really change too much to the story. That's really my my only main concern in getting a remake would be them making changes, big changes to the story or the characterizations of anyone.
Major concern though is going to Manan with updated graphics. Like, that's creepy as fuck. I don't like underwater levels. And I don't want to walk around with the sharks and have to press the shock button and everything. I hate that fucking planet.
As long, it's.
Ugh.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because if they could maybe I don't know, make that playthrough a little bit more dynamic in terms of the movement
trial.
and stuff like that.
That trial and the murder investigation on Dantooine. Wake me up when we're done. Jesus Christ! I want to go dark side on Dantooine just to fucking falsely accuse somebody. Fast. I'm on my way to fight Juhani. I don't have time for this shit.
The Sandrels and the the Sandrels and the Metallics.
Oh, the Romeo and Juliet bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, like, can we make it so that the dark side isn't such a fucking cringy choice when it comes to all of the...
I think on both, really.
Like, do I have to be like such an over asshole when it comes to the dark side stuff? Can I just be, I don't know, somewhat selfish or trying to cut corners?
Well, and even
as
for the
opposed
light
to,
side,
how can I administer as much suffering as possible for everybody at all times? And the masters on Dantooine, they're like, well, fuck it. We have no choice.
I
we
do
gotta
think
just
that,
let him keep going on a quest.
Maybe if they add more sort of a gradient of choices, which is there's like the super duper light side, which is like, yeah, no, you don't have to give me any credits for this quest. And then there's like maybe something it's like you're generous,
more credits.
Or like, selfless as opposed to just literally penniless, because some of that gear in that game gets pretty expensive. And yeah, the dark side gradient where you can do something asshole-ish, but that's not inherently just like the embodiment of evil, but still have that option if you wanted to go that route, I think would be fun.
And just some of it was so cringy. It was like, all right, I get it.
I do like that the further you go, like opening up options like the force choke and stuff like that was always cool. I feel like they could maybe add some more sort of options for light side as well as you get deeper into that tree and stuff like that. But Davis, you've had a week to sit on it. How are you feeling?
I'm gonna don't go revisit it on your mobile device. I tried after we talked about it. It was not a good decision. It's not a pleasurable playthrough. Make sure you have a controller, a bigger TV, and then you might like it again. So I'm hoping that the younger generation that may have been introduced that way gets a second chance.
God
in
help
a better
them.
way.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's it's something that I am still excited for because it is KOTOR and it's hopefully the same major story plots, and I just want them to update it and do right by it, but I just don't think they will. It's just I don't think they can recapture the magic that was the original.
Well, I mean, that's a tough one because, I mean, the twist and everything like that. But, I mean, are you worried about anything as far as plot integrity or anything like that?
No, I think it would be more so just how they deliver the story.
Okay.
Like, we know the plot twist, and I do hope they keep that for the newer players that don't know it, because I think that was amazing, and everybody should get to have that reveal for themselves. But I mean, it took a lot to really build up to that and to really lull you to sleep to not know what's going on. I mean, it was I never knew that was coming. I never had a hint. And yes, I was younger, but I was still in my teens to recognize what could be coming.
Best video game plot twist ever. It was awesome.
I think there's too much now that they try to hint towards.
I think the most exciting thing about this, and Davis and I touched on this a little bit last week, but if this is successful, which I certainly think it will be, is it gives KOTOR 2 another shot, probably. So for that to come out as a more polished, finished product would be very exciting to me, because KOTOR 2 certainly had a lot of things that it added that were great, but there were things there were some dead ends that you felt like, this got rushed, and if only they had more time. And I feel like this comes out as a success, I do feel like they would move forward with the KOTOR 2 remake, and we would get the full thing. And I said last week, I believe there are mods out there on like the computer versions that have done that already, but I've never seen it. I've never played it, so I would be interested in seeing a remade KOTOR 2 that's completely finished for us console gamers out there. So I think that would be pretty exciting.